prove for certain in a court of law that somebody is working for the devil. It ain't gonna happen. You're an idiot to try. Why are you even wasting newsprint on this crap? And half of America voted him into office, and they still love him. I mean, they can't sell their soybean by the hundreds of tons, and they're saying, "Go, Trump, go." I'm sure what he's doing is going to be good for us in the end. Yeah, well, you've already lost how many hundred farmers going bankrupt? I mean, are you looking around at your neighbor recently? Is he still there? And those are just the farmers putting up tariffs around the border of the United States. I mean, other countries of the world got the picture. They're creating individual trade agreements with each other now instead of looking to the United States. They're not going to waste any time on some stupid country's policies that cuts them out of their economic development. They'll just trade with each other, hand over fist. One trade agreement after another, 10 trade agreements after another. What did China do? The heck with the United States. She lowered her tariffs on all her imports from like 12-13% down to an average of 7%. You know, I mean, the heck with the United States. You don't want to trade with us? We got the whole world, fella. And, you know, you're your own worst enemy. There's no competition here. We're just going to have to wait for the United States to melt into oblivion by their own doing. Chinese have got nothing to do with it. Well, I've been watching CGTN Live on YouTube, the best international news in the world. There are a lot of other international news stations that are live. Israel, Australia, Germany, France, Euronews, etc. But CGTN Live is way head and shoulders above them. And they cover all kinds of everything. Theater, the arts, science development, technical development, economic development around all the different countries around the world. Every frickin' day. Africa, major news segment on Africa. And Americans have they have they have a very skewed view of the world because of the mainstream press. And the mainstream press is as usual, is the last one that's going to come to dinner, and they haven't even showed up at the front door yet. You know, and everybody's inside already eating. But President Xi, as you know who he is, made a comment at one of the meetings of the CPC, and he said, you know, now China has had what they call the poverty alleviation program, and he said, I think I can't remember what year they started it, but 1993, or I don't really know, I can't remember the date. But he said that they have lifted 780 million people out of poverty since they started the program. And he said to the assembly that he had never spent so much time on any project since he'd been in office as he had on the poverty alleviation program. Further, he said there are by estimate, only about 20 million left in those circumstances. And by the year 2020, those would have been lifted out of those circumstances as well. Now, America, you want competition? There's the bar. What? The richest, they say America is the richest nation in the world. Yeah, and what are you doing with your wealth? Just how wealthy are you? In spirit, in your heart. China doesn't even have any competition with the United States in reality. They have the population, they have the leaders, and they're just striding right forward into the future. And America's trying to grab at their coattails and drag them back, saying, no, no, we're first, let me in front. Well, nothing's stopping you, America, except for yourself. And it's going to be too late by the time you wake up for what's coming down the pike. You can't be like that and have it end well. If you saw an individual acting like that, you would know they needed help and it wasn't going to end well for them. Why don't you take a look at yourself, your country? You say you're patriotic? Turning a blind eye is not beneficial use of patriotism. It's not a useful demonstration of patriotism. Now, I'm not saying I'm pro-Chinese or that I'm communist or that and if I were communist, would you know what kind? I mean, it's like democracy. How many kinds of democracy are there? And look what American democracy tried to do in Vietnam, North Korea, China, the Opium Wars, just as an understatement, etc. That's American democracy. Are you really proud of that? Sure, there's some good things in the United States, but you don't want to overlook looking at yourself and correcting problems that are there, that are damaging other people within the United States included. So I'm not pro-China any more than I'm pro-Switzerland or pro the United States. I love to see a winner. I love to see a country, a person, a population flourishing, being successful, being productive, enjoying whatever kind of prosperity they're enjoying that makes them happy. I like to see that, and I support that. And I don't like to see people getting in the way because of personal short-sighted interests that are damaging to themselves as a consequence too. It just goes against the grain of human life, that's all. You know, and China's riding a wave. And I love to watch, I surfed, and I love to watch people surf now. I remember. It is so cool, and I can tell when somebody else is surfing. Catching a big wave, China's catching a big wave. And I'm in awe when I see somebody ride an 80-foot wave. I'm going, this guy's got a pair. That's all I gotta say. Good Lord. I mean, that is one big wave, you know, and it doesn't even know you're there. So whatever it does, you know, you are going to be part of it. And it's going to be a while until you come to the surface, if you ever do. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed when I see people surfing a wave that's that frickin' big. And China is on that size of a wave, folks. I mean, she is on a tsunami. I only hope she figures out how to avoid the crash like every other civilization has done. Good luck. I don't mean that in a disparaging tone or derogatory or anything. I'm just saying, nobody seems to have survived this, regardless of how great performance they did while they were on the face of that wave before it broke. We have scattered writings of survivors that have floated to the surface, various journals and such, broken pieces of ships, remnants of old armies, terracotta buried in the soles in the ground. The outlook just isn't that promising. Enjoy it while it lasts, though. Maybe you won't be the generation that feels the crunch of the wave. But isn't that the way plants are? I mean, I realize we're supposed to be intelligent, but, every frickin' plant grows up from a seedling, matures, develops a flower, and then goes to seed. And farmers say that's great, but with civilizations, they're not interested in harvest. They're just worried about turning brown and withering onto the ground to be fodder for the next civilization. Nobody likes to think about that, but that's it, folks. There's no plant that lives forever, and there ain't no civilization either. I hate to burst somebody's bubble. There are periods of growth and development and periods of lesser so over time, and some trees live for thousands of years. But they're not going to be around when the sun turns into a red giant. They're going to die. They're going to die long before. 2,000 years is a drop in the bucket. There isn't nothing that lives forever except the law of cause and effect. And I don't think it has any self-awareness whatsoever. No compassion. No heart. We can pass laws, but there ain't nothing we can do about that one.